Hiya, folks! Hiya, folks! I didn't know if I started too soon. Scott Review Guys on the phone with me. Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Hey, look who that is. It's Chris, everybody. The Review Guys, together again, kind of.
Kind of, a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's been a year, exactly a year, since you've seen or heard from us.
When was that last video?
It was after WrestleMania last year. So what?
Yeah.
April 1st. I remember vividly.
Wow.
Yeah, and I apologize for the
better memory than me.
Yeah, the crappiness of this camera. No, it was April 2nd or 3rd. I don't know. It is crappy, and I tried to fix the settings, and I just wind up looking funny. So please trust me that I do not look funny. Shut up. So anyway, WrestleMania time again. Right?
Right?
Okay.
Sort of, maybe.
So, I personally hadn't been watching for the better part of the last year because WWE, when they started this Hulu Plus thing, it became very difficult for me to access the TV shows because I used to see them online at various places. And it wasn't until the Royal Rumble that I really started to really look and try to find, and I've seen some things that have not been caught by the WWE. I'm starting to ramble already.
You do it, man. I'm telling you, it doesn't take long. I shut my mouth and I let you go.
Point being, a lot of this I'm kind of coming to new, and I've seen characters and feuds just in the build-up to WrestleMania. Chris, your comment?
I don't know, it's been an interesting build to Mania this year. I don't know, man. Personally, I think they dropped the ball on a few things, but we'll get into that as we progress in this little review or rant or whatever you want to call it here.
Yes, you're going to be the one ranting. I'm just going to, everyone just beware that Chris is going to be the angry one. I'm going to be the face. He is going to be the heel. As always. Nothing new.
Always, yeah. There's nothing new there. Kind of like the show last night. Hey.
Oh. So let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to start. Sound of music.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
So, okay. First match of the night.
First match of the night, we had Sheamus, Orton, and Big Show versus The Shield.
Ah. Ooh. Yes. I remember when the Shield made their... Can you hear me?
I said, go ahead, you can start.
Thank you. God. When the Shield made their debut, their debut match, I don't remember who, because my memory is so cloudy.
It was Survivor Series of last year. It was Punk versus Cena versus Ryback, and the Shield interfered on Punk's behalf, sort of. They weren't officially with him. I don't even remember exactly how that worked myself, but that's when they debuted.
Okay. I'm thinking, though, of their actual match.
Yeah, their debut match wasn't until December. That was TLC. That was actually a very good match. If you haven't seen it, look it up, folks. I recommend it.
Okay, well, I'm thinking of something completely different. I thought their first match was like on a Raw. And it was the three of them against the two of somebody else.
You know, they've had a couple matches on Raw. Always it's been a three-person, some variation of a three-person team, and they've always won. They're undefeated.
Okay. Well, the first thing that I saw of them, I thought was just brilliant. The swiftness with which they tagged in and out. I mean, you know, the psychology of the tag teams tagging in and out before one of the members is able to get tired. They did this so deftly that I thought, man, these guys cannot be beat. I thought they just handled themselves so well. So last night, now this match I didn't get to see. The place that I watched it, I didn't get there until this match was almost over. So what did you think about this match?
Well, I mean, let's start from just the top of the show. Yeah, like Scott said, he didn't see the top of the show, so they didn't start with America the Beautiful, which is weird because that's always typically what they start with. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I didn't. I was going to ask if it was Alicia Keys as they were...
They kind of just jumped straight into the introduction. And they introduced everybody. The Shield comes out. They came on through the crowd like they always do. And they started the match. And, yeah, they are a good team. They work well together. They worked a lot better together than, obviously, Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show did. The right team won this match. The problem that I have with this match is this is going to be the running theme of this entire review here is everything stayed exactly the same. Nothing changed.
Well, see, I was predicting an Orton heel turn because I'd read online that it was a possibility.
I think everybody was seeing an Orton heel turn. And that may be why they didn't do it. I don't know. I guess they felt like it was too predictable, but then again, this whole show was predictable. But, yeah, Orton stayed face, Big Show stayed heel, and the Shield won, which, I mean, I was happy to see that. They needed to win because they are a good team. They work well together, and I think individually these three guys could, you know, they have bright futures ahead of them. So that's what needed to happen.
Okay.
So this match I really don't have much of a problem with, other than the fact that there were no big shits.
Okay, but you kind of expect that though in an opening match, right, for WrestleMania?
All right. I mean, I can see why they went with this match first because the heels won, and you know WrestleMania is usually a good guy heavy show, so that's probably why they led off with this one.
And it might have been too jarring for the heels to win and for Orton to, you know, to betray all of us.
Correct, yes.
So, the next match, set for pinfall.
The next match was Ryback Mark Henry.
Yes.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
And you saw this entire match, I assume, correct?
I did. Yes. This one I saw. I was impressed by the ending with the, you know, with, well, I mean, when Ryback couldn't get, when Mark Henry fell on him, and then after the match, when he just stood up and did his little marching around. Impressive. Mark Henry, I'm not the biggest fan of, or I'm not the biggest fan when he's the monster heel character. Ryback, I'm still on the fence about, because he's still new to me, because, like I said, in the time that I haven't been watching, he's been obviously building up. People love him.
Well, see, this again. That's a problem because you know people have been talking a long time about the company needs to build new faces to kind of help balance things out with John Cena. And people have been talking a long time about Ryback being one of those guys that they're building up into something great.
Right.
The problem that I have here is that Ryback has, to my knowledge, never won on a pay-per-view. Losing. They keep trying to portray him as this big, strong Wesley guy that can't lose, but somehow he always keeps losing.
That's a good point.
I don't understand at all why Mark Henry won this match. He didn't need to win this match. Ryback needed to win. The finish, to me, I mean, it was interesting. It was definitely cool to see him get him up and Mark Henry just kind of fall on him. But I just don't understand why you'd have Ryback lose and have him get up and do his finisher on Mark Henry and try to portray him as the big, unbeatable guy anyway.
Right, now, has he had a title yet?
No, he's had nothing yet. He, like I said, his first big push was back in October against CM Punk, and since then he's lost every match he's been in. Now, they've all been fluke losses.
Yeah.
I think this may be his first legitimate loss, which is kind of sad that it came at WrestleMania. But I don't know. Again, nothing really changed here. Ryback was losing before. Ryback's losing now.
Yeah. Okay. And again, like I said, I gave my opinion. Okay, so let's move on to the next match, which was Dolph.
The next match was
and Big E.
Team Hell No.
Oh, that's right.
Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston.
Now, when I last watched, back last spring, I guess, they were first pairing the heel Daniel Bryan with... By the way, I'm looking at the clock. This video, we're going to try to... I should have mentioned this at the beginning. We might have to split it up into a few parts. I apologize if that's the case, but we're just going to keep talking, and hopefully everything will post together. YouTube has not been friendly to me lately. Could you cover your mouth when you cough? God,
I'm sorry.
you're like a baby. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. So moving on. Yeah, so when I first started watching, that's when they first paired the two. I didn't know where it was going to go, and when I started watching again, they had become, I think it's brilliant comedy. A part of me was like, ooh, I wonder if the serious fans are upset that Daniel Bryan, a wrestler that people take so seriously, has become, a part of basically a comedy team. But then another part of me said, no, it's so good that it doesn't matter.
That's the thing, though. I mean, yes, they've been kind of a comedic duo, but throughout all of that, Daniel Bryan has still been a great wrestler. That has not changed. He's had some great matches on Raw. In fact, I mean, last summer, before the whole Daniel Bryan Kane thing, I mean, I don't know if you saw any of the matches between him and CM Punk, but those were great.
No.
Those were for the title. I think it was over the summer, and they were great matches. That was right before he got together with Kane. But yeah, even since he's gotten together with Kane, they have been funny, they have been comical, but through all of that, they're still both great performers, great workers, and they work well together. So I had high hopes for this match.
And what did you think?
I was happy. I mean, I think the right team won here. The only problem I have with it is Dolph Ziggler is another one of these guys that continues to lose. I mean, they talk about pushing him heavily, and he has been losing constantly, and he lost here again. Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder. I mean, I think he's pretty much the total package.
I think he's ready. I've felt for a while now that he's ready for that next big push. And
I was hoping... Go ahead.
It goes back to what I've been saying is, you get the feeling that they need to start pushing they need to start pushing new guys, but they just don't pull the trigger on anybody.
Yep, I heard that. And he's not with Vicky anymore, which is a good sign. Yep, AJ's a step up. AJ's a step up in terms of, not relying on Vicky's heat.
Yeah, I would agree, but I think Dolph's one of those guys that I think he can make it on his own. I don't think he needs anybody with him.
Right. Oh, no, I say that as well. I agree completely. But, that was frustrated me when he just carried on and on and on with Vicky. I was saying, you're just prolonging his days as a mid-Carter.
Right.
So taking Vicky away hopefully will push him up. But, yeah, I agree with you. But, happy with the result, and happy with the match. It was nice. Nice match.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. If nothing else, I felt happy for Daniel Bryan because he finally kind of sort of got a WrestleMania moment.
Yes. And it was at the beginning, so Dolph kisses AJ.
Yeah.
And for a moment, I thought, oh no, this is going to be another nothing match. Because I thought Daniel Bryan was immediately going to get the pin and win. Luckily, we got a match out of it. But, I thought it would be a tables turned kind of thing. Okay, moving... Oh, anything else to add? I don't think so.
No, that's just what everything needed to be said on that one.
Now, something to point out that we will sprinkle throughout this as we lead up to the main event, as they sprinkled throughout the show last night, promos. The Rock promos, the Cena promos, building up to the main event. As the night wore on, and I told Chris this, it kind of worried me, because I was thinking, are they so afraid that we aren't yet sold on this match? Because go ahead.
We'll get to that when we get to the main event.
Okay, but then just keep that in mind. So they had them sprinkled throughout. The next match was...
next was Chris Jericho versus
Fandango. Now, I have to say about Fandango, we've never seen him in the ring, and I feel like that the promo stuff we've seen has been good, but I think he's even better than we've seen just as a character. I saw a video online of him on a radio show. Did you see that by any chance?
No.
I'll have to see if I can find it and link to it or something. But I think he's a funny guy. So I think as a heel and as a kind of comedic heel, which seems to be how they're starting out using him, I think he's got a lot going for him. I found it odd that they would be debuting him at WrestleMania. And I also felt, though, that the build-up has been so minute that if Jericho lost, it wouldn't be like your typical loss. I mean, it wouldn't be like he's putting him over. It would be just like he's...
Here's the thing about this match, and Jericho in particular. Jericho is one of those guys that... I love Jericho.
Oh, me too.
Jericho always have been. Jericho's one of those guys that he can lose a match and not really lose anything. He doesn't lose any momentum, anything at all.
Yeah.
So I felt like he would lose. I figured Fandango would win, and I was happy and excited about that because it's just like a throwback to what WrestleMania used to be, which it used to be a time to really push new guys.
Yeah.
But having said that, I thought this match was okay. There wasn't really anything great about it.
Yeah.
I felt like they tried. I felt like, Fandango or Johnny Curtis or whatever you want to call him, he could have done more. He could have done better. But I have no real gripes with the match. The ending was kind of okay. I don't know. This is I don't want to say this match was a disappointment because it wasn't, but I didn't really get much out of it.
Right. On the sliding scale of matches, and you're going to have stronger and weaker matches, but I feel like it was fine.
Yeah.
So that's
like
that.
I said, I think part of it is going to depend on where do we go from here?
Right, and in my book,
he just debuted at WrestleMania and won against Chris Jericho. I mean, you would assume that he's going to be using some sort of huge push, but I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful about this. Okay, next we had The Undertaker.
No, we had Del Rio versus...
Oh, that's right. What are your thoughts on this? I don't know how deeply I want to delve into my true thoughts on this feud. Tell me what you think, and then I'll think about whether I want to say what I want to say.
I think I've been pretty adamant in the past about, my feelings on Swagger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Swagger at all. He just comes across to me as just a big doofus, And Del Rio, Del Rio I've never been crazy about either, and, I didn't like him as a heel, I don't like him as a face. So, the problem that I had with this match was I don't really care about either one of these guys. I didn't care either way who won. The only thing I cared about was the possibility of Ziggler cashing in and winning World Heavyweight Championship. And that didn't happen.
Right, and the fact that wasn't even teased at all or spoken of. I don't think it was. Where I was watching, I couldn't really hear the commentary all that well. But yeah, that would be... I agree with you on the participants. I like Del Rio better as a face, but he still doesn't do it for me. And Swagger's the same way. My problem with the setup... I'm choosing my words very carefully as I say this. It would have been better, instead of Coulter talking in political jargon, as we, it would be better if they would have approached it from a purely racist angle. The whole idea of foreigners. I just don't feel like they set it up well. I think it was just too muddy at the beginning. And had they started out saying foreigners, people who don't speak English, you know, am I making any sense?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Okay.
Gotta grab my dog.
Oh, well, grab your dog. I hope that's not a euphemism for something, because we're live.
It's literally my dog. He's out of the house.
Okay. But yeah, that's my problem. You know, to try to bring the whole concept of illegal immigration or immigration in general into it. Just not. I didn't like that move. So I wish they would have. I think it would have made it more black and white. If it could have just been a racist thing, and it might have been easier for me to be like, yeah, you know, I would still be rooting for Jack Swagger to beat his or for Del Rio to beat Jack Swagger's A. But the racism would have made it even easier. You know, just beat the crap out of the stupid racist, as opposed to, you know, having to weigh. I'm a very fair-minded person. And I like to, and if it comes to politics or social policy or whatever, I like to think through both sides. Racism, you don't have to think through. You're just, it makes it easy, black and white. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to say anything more about that. But yeah, the match to me, I don't know. I feel like they're both solid performers. They just don't quite excite me.
Yeah.
So
again, like I said, the biggest problem I had with this whole thing was, I mean, why didn't Ziggler cash in? This would have been the perfect time for that to happen. People would have gone nuts had that happened. But it's almost like the WWE was like trying their hardest to disappoint us and not have that happen. I mean,
well, but it'll take the glory away from Del Rio. First of all, you'd have to have Del Rio lose. Oh wait, let's see. No, Dolph would, unless Dolph turned face, which I don't see happening. Del Rio would have to lose.
Oh, Ziggler is one of those guys. He's one of the guys that even at the heel, people cheer for him and people like him. So
I guess I feel like it's pretty solidly heel.
Yeah.
These days. So anyway, I see why they I can see why they didn't do it. I suppose. So the next match was CM Punk, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Versus The Undertaker. And this was another match that I missed a week or two over the last month. So I saw the stuff with the urn, and then there must have been something on SmackDown, maybe, that I missed, because when they were doing their promos, there was a week that I didn't see when that happened. But I wasn't sure that it was just the greatest rivalry. It wasn't the greatest setup for me. I wanted to see it because The Undertaker and CM Punk, who I think are two of my favorites, and WrestleMania. It seemed like the perfect, But, yeah, so setup-wise, it was lacking to me. Your thoughts on the setup going into it? Build up.
I don't know. I think I'm one of those people. I don't have a problem with the setup. A lot of people feel like it was disrespectful or just tacky. It's wrestling, okay? Wrestling, it's not meant to be taken too seriously.
Wrestling is tacky.
Seriously, needs to stop watching it.
Right.
It may have been just slightly in poor taste, but the way I see it, Undertaker was fine with it. CM Punk was fine with it. Paul Moody's kids were fine with it.
Yeah, Jim Ross wrote on his blog something to the effect of he thinks that Paul Bearer himself would have loved, being remembered,
and
being a part of something like that.
I felt about it. He's one of those guys. He would have seen it and said, "Hey, you know what? You just go with it." He's an old school wrestling kind of guy, and that's old school. That's old school heel tactics right there.
Pure
heat. That's one of the things that I love about Punk. Is Punk is one of the few guys that can really do that. Get under somebody's skin, and it makes you want to see him get his butt kicked.
Now let's talk about old school for a second. Most of this match took place inside the ring, which to me, is a bit of a departure, considering, especially the Undertaker matches of the last few years. There's been stuff outside the ring. So when I saw them just competing, just doing an actual wrestling match, it impressed me even more.
I wouldn't say this match to me, it wasn't as good as the first Shawn Michaels match.
Oh, no. God, no. I don't even compare anything to that match. That was so...
I would argue, and again, a lot of people might disagree with me, I would argue that it was better than the second Michaels match and both the Triple H matches.
Wow.
From a wrestling standpoint, okay, not from a storytelling standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, I think from a wrestling standpoint, it was better than any of this stuff with Triple H and the second Shawn Michaels match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it competes with the story that was told last year because I thought that was a great story.
Okay.
But I think it was a damn good match.
I thought so too, and it had me and again, the thing that...
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's why I enjoyed it so much was, going into it, everybody thought, oh, there's no way Undertaker will lose. There's absolutely no way he'll lose. But even with that in the back of your mind, there were a couple times when you were watching it when you thought, could this happen? Could this be the year that it happens? Deep down, it won't, but the fact that they can make you think about it.
To me,
means they got the job done.
Right. In my mind, yes, Undertaker is going to win. Yes. I mean, certainly they wouldn't have the streak broken and not have it be, with matches left to go on the card. But at the same time, they could swerve us. At the same time, the Undertaker, I didn't know what his condition was like. Let's say I
think a lot of people didn't know what his condition was like, and I think he looked good. I think he was a real well-wrestled match on his part. Punk did most of the work, but I think, for a guy approaching 50, he held his own quite well and still showed that he still got it.
Right, and I think, but before we saw him, it could have totally been that he just wasn't ready to get back in ring shape. If that was the case, he might say, Vince, I gotta hang up the boots, as they say, and I'm gonna lay down for CM Punk, who I think is the next, great wrestler or the great wrestler of his generation, So in my mind, I was like, it could be that he's gonna want to do this, that he's gonna want to pass the torch in this way. So that's what adds the excitement to the Undertaker matches of recent years, anyway. But so there was a kick out, an Undertaker kick out that I just screamed and cheered as I did all the previous years. But it was great. It was just so satisfying when it was.
I think, come on, to me the favorite moment in this whole match, probably the favorite moment of the night, was when Punk had Undertaker in the Anaconda Vice,
Mm-hmm.
and while he's got Undertaker in this, Undertaker does his usual thing where he just sits up and he just stared at Punk, and you see the two of them making eye contact, and Punk just got this, scared look on his face. I just died laughing when I saw that. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was great.
Both of them, in terms of facial expressions, priceless. They sold the matches with their facial expressions. Beautiful. I just thought it was a beautiful match. Just about a perfect. It's about perfect. How about we say that?
I think it was by far the best match on the show. I think it was up there. I really do. I think it was a great match, and I think Punk once again, showed everybody that, hey, you know what? Say whatever you want about John Cena. I'm the one that's here to show everybody what I can do.
Mm-hmm. Now. When this match started, Chris texted me and said he thought it was a little early in the night for this match. My response was, I was afraid that maybe they were afraid of how well the Undertaker could perform, and they felt that Triple H could definitely deliver in his match. So that's a good segue into the next match. I was a little afraid, as every year, the great Undertaker match, is it going to be downhill from here? I wasn't disappointed. I was disappointed when they pointed the fire extinguishers at Triple H's stomach, because during most of his entrance I was like, could he have frostbite? Is it possible that this is going to ruin the match?
Yeah,
But
I don't know what that was all about. That just did, I think that was the same exact gray skull setup that he had from last year. I think it was the same one.
it was probably expensive. The set! Let me say this. That set was gorgeous.
Okay, no, see, okay. I have problems with that set. I think, no, here's the thing. I think, had they done away with Bridge,
Okay.
the set would have been perfect. I think that Bridge got in the way because, watching it on TV, I mean, I don't know how it looked from the perspective of someone that was there. I mean, anybody that was there, I'm sure some of you guys are hopefully watching this, comment and let us know. But watching on TV, that Bridge was getting in the way of the whole screen. You couldn't see everything.
Okay. I just like the fact that they had actual 3D elements on the set, because it seems like it's been so long since they've done that. They usually just rely on the, their little HD system there.
Yeah.
But Brock Lesnar. The last time I saw Brock Lesnar in action, I don't think I've seen him wrestle since he came back. And I saw some pictures of him, but since then he is just he's taken care of himself. He is an amazing specimen.
He's definitely a big boy.
My God. Oh, and I do have to mention, we'll mention it here since we didn't mention it there, Paul Heyman. I could not love Paul Heyman more than I do right now. I think he is...
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay, phew, I thought you were going to disagree there. Because you've...
Paul Heyman. I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Okay. But yeah, his ability to... He's just a great talker, and I'm glad they brought him back to manage both of these guys. I think he's just amazing. Anyway, so the no holds barred match. I feel like they kind of took a moment to get themselves together, to get the match underway. It wasn't a I didn't feel like it was excitement right off the bat. But then it just became so solid. Brock is just he's just a monster. He's a monster. And so, you didn't have to know anything going into this about Brock or about the story because I didn't even really know much of the story. I guess I didn't see the contract signing week. But it was just, from a visual standpoint, it sold itself. Triple H is the hero fighting for his life. Brock Lesnar, this giant monster, heartless. He's evil and sadistic. And it was just so perfect from that standpoint. And then then the action picked right up, and I was right in there. So this match is a close second to me. I honestly enjoyed it nearly as much as the Undertaker match. No?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I enjoyed it. I did. I thought it was a good match. It was like you said. It took a while to build, to really get into it, and then
which is fine as long as we're.
Point where it hit a lull when I got to the point where everybody was, kind of just had everybody else, and Brock had Triple H in a hold, and Triple H had Brock in a hold, and oh my God, is he going to tap out? Is he not going to tap out? It just that dragged on a little bit too long to me.
I could see that, but it never was boring. Every time that Brock's hand was coming down, it was just pulled me right back in.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest problems that I have with this match, and it might be a little off topic, but you bring Shawn Michaels back.
Yeah.
To me, you really expect him to do something. And other than that one super kick, he really didn't do anything this whole match.
Yeah, I will say, when Shawn Michaels came out, I said to myself, oh, I said, I couldn't figure out why he was there. I don't know why he wears those galoshes everywhere now. Does that bother you?
It does. He kind of, he looks weird.
What's that?
He looks weird. He looks bizarre.
I know, bless his heart, and he's deserves all the respect in the world from wrestling fans. But yeah, I thought, and I was right. I mean, I figured it was to counter Heyman's presence, but I don't know. Did they advertise that?
They did. He came out last Monday, and they basically then advertised that he would be there.
Oh, well, I did see last Monday, but I don't remember.
You gotta, love Shawn Michaels and look at it like, hey, the guy's been retired since WrestleMania 26, but he still hasn't missed one yet.
Well, no, and seeing him walk out, I said this is perfect. That's apt that Mr. WrestleMania needs to be here for WrestleMania.
Right.
I think that's a good thing. So anyway, so any other thoughts on the Triple H?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm going to go back into my main topic here.
Oh.
The problem that I have with this match is the wrong guy won.
But
Brock needed to win this match. I mean, look, Triple H, I respect him. I'm a huge fan of his, but he's the CEO of the company. He's going to be running the company one day. Okay, he won this match. At best, we might see him once or twice a year in a match. Okay, he's not a full-time competitor, so there was no reason why he couldn't just retire now and go on about his business. Brock, since coming back, he's lost 2 matches and only won 1.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I hear, he signed another contract, so he's going to be with the company for, I think, at least 1 to 2 more years.
Ooh.
I don't know the specifics, but if you're going to keep him around, then why are you going to have him lose? He needed to win. He should have won.
Huh. Okay. I'll give you that.
Again, it's more of things just staying the same.
Okay.
Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the final match of the evening, and just real quick, I feel bad for Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow and Tensai and all them. It's gotta suck to have your match pulled.
I wonder when that call was made.
I don't. My guess was it was made some point during the Triple H Brock Lesnar match.
Wow.
I mean, it was bizarre because they finished the Triple H Brock Lesnar match, and you're just sitting here, and then all of a sudden, Cena's music started playing.
Right.
It felt just so unexpected. I mean, I guess in part because it was, because everybody was thinking there's one more match left, but it felt like it came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I will say this. As I was watching the Triple H Brock match, and then the Hall of Fame stuff happened, and then I was expecting the tag match, but what I thought was that they really did do a good job of pacing the show. The show was laid out very well, especially
that's what I thought too. I kept thinking, okay, wow, they're really coming along.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I do feel bad for them, but I have to say, when I think back in my head, the image that stands out from last year's WrestleMania more than any other image was that Brodus Clay bit with all the mamas coming out to dance. So, Brodus, I'm sorry. I think he even tweeted something, or there was something online where he expressed his that he was upset. But, Brodus, if you're listening, and I don't think you are, but you, sir, made last year's WrestleMania for me. So just take that. Keep that in your head and heart. But, okay.
Yeah, I mean, more so than anybody else, I felt bad for Cody Rhodes because he's been one of those guys. He's been another one of those guys that I've really wanted to see pushed and steadily pushed. That goes back to the first match of the night, and we didn't even talk about this one. Wade Barrett versus The Miz.
Oh, yeah.
For Wade Barrett, he misses last year's WrestleMania because of an injury. comes back, and now he's on the pre-show against The Miz, and he has to lose. I mean, I feel bad for him.
My feelings toward The Miz, I just can't be a Miz fan. There's something, I didn't like him as a heel, and now he's kind of he's a face now, right?
He is, he's a face. And
I think...
still just don't like, I don't like him at all.
Yeah, and then it bothers me. The one show, because I don't have cable, so the one show that I can definitely watch every week is Main Event on Ion. And The Miz has been color commentator, and I'm like, come on, guys, enough Miz, enough Miz. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and God bless him, his dreams are coming true, but, I mean, really. So,
yeah. Okay, but back to Cena Rock.
Okay, wait, there was something else I wanted to say.
They have their interests. What's that?
I was trying to think there might have been something else I wanted to say, but, okay, never mind. Let me say this. Cody Rhodes has been solid over the last, since I've seen him. The Damian Sandow stuff, solid. I don't think it's quite, there's something missing in that particular gimmick that's going to keep him held back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So hopefully, because I think the dashing Cody Rhodes, the face mask and all that was great stuff. Hopefully he'll find another.
I think the peak was the period where he was wearing the mask. I think that was great.
So hopefully he'll find something like that soon, and he'll get his. Oh yeah, he's had a WrestleMania moment. I think that's one of my strong moments from Atlanta.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that match versus Rey Mysterio in Atlanta. I did.
So. Anyway, moving on to the final thing. So Cena comes out. I couldn't hear the audio very well. Chris tells me that there were a lot of boos for Cena.
I had a lot of boos.
Were there any cheers? I mean, was it that lopsided?
I'm sure there were, but I heard a lot more boos than anything. And I kind of expected that, given the fact that it was in New York. New York's usually a tough crowd. They're like Chicago. They tend to be a very heel heavy crowd.
Okay.
And they're probably, with me, they're probably just tired of John Cena.
All right.
Same old John Cena. Let me say that. Same old John
Cena. Yeah. So the match begins. Do you have anything you want to say about The Rock's entrance?
No. I mean, it was typical
straightforward.
Rock entrance. I mean, again, it just felt kind of like, okay, what's going on here? It just didn't feel. It felt rushed. It felt right.
Yeah. I did miss the, Cena usually has something pretty clever about his entrance.
Right.
And even if they wanted him to look like the underdog by not giving him a big entrance, The Rock could have had a big entrance, couldn't he? Why did they skimp on that?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly,
rhetorical question.
Honestly, I wonder if something happened backstage. I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, something may have happened backstage, and they could have been like, just go.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, and where was the one? Oh, it was the WrestleMania in Atlanta. The video packages they put before Cena and Miz. I was just watching it recently. That was great stuff. Okay, moving on. I just came to mind. So, to me, if I may be honest, this match, for the majority of it, I would say for at least 2/3, I was scratching my head saying, are we going to have another disappointment like last year in terms of the quality of the match? I thought last year's match was just a snoozer. And these are two guys that certainly know how to wrestle. They certainly know how to work with people. And it seemed so slow going for so long. Did you feel that way?
I did. I mean, I felt like this match had some potential because there were a couple times when the camera would get real close up on John Cena's face.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple times when it almost looked like they were getting to him, like the crowd was getting to him, The Rock was getting to him, this whole situation was getting to him. Mm-hmm. And you felt kind of like he could finally do it. He could finally snap.
Okay.
Now, of course, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. The match, there was nothing great about it. There wasn't. It just felt kind of like, okay, these guys are just going to go out there and, I don't want to say just collect a paycheck, but
no.
First, 2/3 of the match, there was nothing exciting. I will say that there was the one spot where Rock was going to do the five knuckle shuffle on Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And Cena got up, and I think he gave him an AA. And I thought, please don't let it end like this. Don't let it end just like it ended last year with Cena doing the people's elbow and getting pinned.
Now, see, that to me was a great moment. So, as I was to finish the whole quality of match thought, it was that first third that made me think, oh no, because I mean, it's totally possible that the two guys just don't have good chemistry. It happens.
It happens.
But the last third, in my book, totally made up for the slowness of the beginning. So I was very satisfied with the quality of the match. We'll save the ending for for a moment from now, but I thought the match picked up at the end, and it totally made it worth it. I loved when he was going to do the people's elbow. I thought I was at this sports bar, and one of the guys, someone said, that's what lost it for him last year, and I'm like, oh no, it's going to happen. And then, of course, they had Cena was prepared for The Rock to get up. So let's cut to the chase. What do you think's going to happen? So we're not talking for the next 3 hours.
What I think's going to happen?
No. What were your thoughts? You were hoping, obviously, The Rock would win.
Okay, not necessarily.
Okay.
It wasn't necessarily that I wanted to see The Rock win. I had no problem with Cena winning, as long as I wanted to see Cena turn. I wanted to see it happen. I wanted to see him get mad, get angry, and just turn on everybody. If he'd have won that way, I'd have been absolutely fine with it. I'd have been cheering, as I think a lot of people would have been doing. But it was just the same old goody two-shoes, cookie-cutter, PG, John Cena wins, yay, let me salute The Rock, let me shake his hand. People were booing while all this was going on. Yeah.
And again, having not been able to hear the audio, I was wondering how well the ending was playing to the crowd.
People were booing. People were booing to the entire crowd, I think. Because it was, not only was it expected, but it was like, okay, again, what now?
Okay, but let's break this down.
The problem that I have with this whole thing
is
that they tried to play up this whole, John Cena had an off 2012 thing, which is complete BS. He's in the main event of Mania. He was in the main event of the next 4 or 5 pay-per-views, all of which he won, by the way. It wasn't until the end of the year that he started losing, and even then it was fluke losses, and he always ended up winning every feud that he was in.
Okay.
So, his off year was better than just about everybody else's year, with the exception of maybe CM Punk.
Okay.
So that thing, it didn't work for me at all. I think it didn't work for a lot of people. And I think that John Cena is at the point in his career where, if you're really this company man, if you really, are out for what's best in the company, you need to step up and say to Vince, look, Vince, I think it's time we change things up a little bit.
Think about it this way, though. He does a lot of charity work. He's the hero. Gag if you want to. I'll give you the chance to at your own leisure. He's the hero to millions of children. Servicemen and women look up to him as a symbol. He's a symbol more than he is a character at this point. He can't turn heel.
Then he needs to go away for a while.
That was the thing. Now, that was what my best case scenario was. Cena loses and goes into some kind of a semi-retirement exile so that he can truly get crapped upon and he can truly win the sympathy of people. I think maybe the Cena haters would look at him and say, well, he's paying his dues or whatever. He's stepping away, and maybe they could earn some respect for when he came back. He could remain visible. I don't see any reason why he would have to go away forever. What if he took a job like a subordinate role, like what's his name, Brad Maddox, who, by the way, I think has a bright future. I just want to throw that out there. Brad Maddox. But that's what I thought should have happened. And then we wait a good 3, 4, 6 months where Cena can still be seen. He can still talk on the show. The kids can still cheer. He can still do his charity stuff. He can still do his, sponsorships or whatever. Then he comes back with a fresher perspective. The problem there, though...
it's like, the person that I compare this whole going away thing to is Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is one of those guys that he stays fresh, and the reason he stays fresh is because he's willing to go away for sometimes up to 1 to 2 years. That way, when he comes back, you want to see him.
Yeah, but Cena is a regular roster guy. I mean, he can't go away. He's just too important to the company.
Okay, then you need to say to Vince, okay, Vince, we've got a problem here. People look up to me, but the product is getting stale. I'm getting stale. Let me be that guy now that pushes other guys up. I don't need to be the champion anymore. I don't need to have the belt. He doesn't need to be in the main event. He doesn't need to be the champion. He doesn't need to do any of that to still have the admiration of all these little kids. He doesn't need all that to sell the merch. What he could do now is what guys like Chris Jericho are doing, guys like Kane are doing. Help push these new guys up into the next tier and really provide for the future of the company, because whether or not John Cena wants to admit it, he's not going to be around forever. So, let's say that, God forbid, he comes out tonight and he breaks his neck and he can't wrestle anymore. What are we left with? This huge space to fill.
Yeah.
It's kind of his fault.
But at the risk...
Not doing anything about it while he can do anything about it.
Yeah, but at the risk of making every Cena detractor hate me as much, it's all business. The reason he's the champion is that somebody wants to pay to see him defend the championship or try to win.
People that haven't hit puberty yet. But then again, they're not the ones paying for the tickets. And see, that's the other point. That's the other, little kids will like whoever they're told to like. You can say whatever you want about it. Hulk Hogan didn't make Hulk Hogan. Vince McMahon made Hulk Hogan.
But there's something that draws the individual, that draws a fan to a performer. And the audience, kids aren't going to be
all the time. They're being shoved down your throat all the time.
Not necessarily.
Them shaking people's hands and kissing babies and throwing their hats into the crowd and waving and smiling. Anybody can do that.
Well, I can't think of a good example off the top of my head right now, but a great baby face in the company is still not going to have the same connection that Cena has with his lovers. Lovers, meaning Cena lovers. C-Nation. I just think it's all such a precarious balance. So we as fans, I'll tell you what I liked about the ending. So all of that stuff disappointed me. That we're, like Chris said, more of the same. Nothing changes. As a smart mark, as a fan who wants to analyze things, it was bad that Cena won. But the wrestling fan in me that just wants to have a satisfying ending to a story, that wants a character that is, in my mind, likable, to have him, come out on top, to have him find redemption. That side of me was satisfied with the ending, and maybe we as wrestling fans need to kind of, enjoy that part of the Cena, the future of Cena.
I can't though, man. I can't, and a lot of people can't because, again, How many times have we seen it already?
I know, but we've got now CM Punk.
How many times can you tell the same story before people get sick of it and want a new story?
I agree, but don't we have CM Punk to be the anti-Cena right now? So
Yeah,
maybe the real wrestling fans can look at the Punks, while the more casual fans can have the Cenas. Why can't they coexist in that way? I think that's a perfectly...
Because you're going to have those guys like us that are the Punk fans, because Punk is the better wrestler, Punk is the better talker. Punk, to me, in-ring capability is better in every way than John Cena.
Okay.
Say what you want, to the contrary.
No, I have no...
Like Punk is far superior to Cena in every way from the in-ring, the wrestling standpoint.
Okay.
But even while he was champion last year, he played second fiddle to John Cena. Like every one of those pay-per-views that I named that John Cena won last year after WrestleMania, in his supposedly off year, he was in the main event. Well, CM Punk was the WWE champion, and he was like in the middle of the card. Like he went on every night before John Cena.
Okay.
That doesn't bother you at all? That doesn't get under your skin at all?
Oh, it does, and I was unaware of that in my exile. I didn't realize that's how.
Look it up.
Well, I will. Calm down, you little jerk. I will throw this phone against the wall.
Do it. It's your phone. You'll break it.
Oh, I forgot. But so I agree with that. I mean, we're not in disagreement on the fundamental argument that we're making. I'm just saying that I just feel that from a business is going to dictate that Cena be around and be visible. So I don't know. I just we need to stop getting so bent out of shape by.
Well, see, again, that's another point. We are getting so bent out of shape about it. A lot of people are getting so bent out of shape about it.
But again, we have CM Punk.
The only real way to avoid that is to institute change. I hate the fact that I'm quoting Obama right now, but we need change.
Well, now, did you, Mark, did you see, there was a sign that I saw, a picture that was taken at the event last night, and the sign said, if Cena wins,
we all complain about it on the internet?
Right. I think that's a very clever thing.
That's great, and that's it right there. That's it in a nutshell.
But that's, the only thing we could really do is boycott the product, and we don't want to do that.
No, and that's the thing, and I think that's part of why Vince McMahon is outsmarting us, because we're all sitting here complaining about it, but we're all still watching.
Right.
Nobody stopped watching. I mean, the ratings haven't been great for a number of years, but there's still a huge fan base that watches. They still sell out shows. I mean, there were 80,000 people last night to watch that show.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposedly, predictable in every way. I mean, if I could have gone, I would have gone.
Yeah. I hear you. And again, I think that CM Punk, now this might, and it might be more business savvy than we have realized, he can be everything that just like he says in his Cult of Personality song, everything that we want a wrestler to be, which is kind of a badass, kind of a jerk, good in the ring, and he doesn't have to worry about being the face of the company. He's not going to sell T-shirts to the women and children. So I'm saying right now, let's embrace that. Let's embrace that fact. And like I said, that might be something that we had never thought about, or I had never thought about it that way. So the predictability of Cena, that's just how it's going to be. But we've got Punk.
Yeah, we've got Punk, but what happens when Punk leaves?
Oh, he's not going to leave. Let's not be...
Well, no, there's a strong talk of him taking some time off now.
Well, then that would be bad. So, let me...
I think we've gone on long
I
enough.
was about to say that. We're at 59 minutes and 22 seconds. So, hopefully this will upload in one piece. It would be a miracle. But hopefully that's it. But everybody, all of our friends that we met at previous WrestleManias who were there, we missed seeing you this year.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year, because definitely we're both going to be there.
It's like a 2-hour drive for me, so I will definitely be there.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all. So that's all we have time for now. We'll try to get back together with you soon enough. But I just felt like we had to touch
One thing
base.
that we did want to mention, we briefly we talked about this a couple weeks ago, the possibility of maybe doing a Facebook page, maybe trying to do something where people can, we can communicate with people again. People can ask us questions. We can try to talk back.
Yeah.
Let us know how you feel about that.
And we'll be in touch with you.
The videos, we're going to be getting together in about a month. And we plan to do a couple of videos together in person.
Yes.
During that time. But, I'm sure it's obvious at this point that the videos from us together, at least, they're going to be few and far between. But we're still around. We still want to talk to everybody. We still want to talk wrestling with anybody that'll listen.
Certainly.
And we're still here.
Yes. So on that note, I think we will say so long for now, and we'll talk to you, like I said, within the next month, we'll have something else up, and that'll be fun times, certainly. So, Chris, good to talk to you.
Yes.
And it was good to see you folks yet again. And that's that. So we'll see you all very soon. Adios.
Peace, everybody.